right, so let's talk a little bit about controlling our volume within Pro Tools. So we can't really control our volume without a little bit of a discussion about automation. So when we refer to automation, that's this little section below our input and output in our mix window that says auto. And you see here it says auto read or auto off. So this is referring to Pro Tools' ability to track control information, to track changes. And what we're going to do right now for the sake of our discussion is record volume information that Pro Tools will track as long as auto read is on. So looking at our second track here, we have our interview sample that we have from before, and I'm going to, instead of looking at the waveform in my playlist, from the drop-down menu right underneath my where my track name is and my record arm button, I'm going to click where it says waveform, and instead I'm going to choose to look at the volume information. When I do so, I see a line that pops up. Now, I can, as I move this line, I'll see a little bit of a number display pop up just above, and this is telling me right now this entire track is at 0 dB. As I turn this down, as I drag down while clicking and holding, I can see, okay, I've now changed this to negative 10.4 dB. If I let that go, what I've done is I've essentially turned down my fader. I can verify this by switching into the mix window, and I can see, here is the fader for that channel. There it is. Now it's 10.4. If I click this and drag this up, I'll see that actually in the edit window, that indicator, that volume indicator, also comes with the fader. It's moving wherever I move the fader. So these two are linked. It's just two different ways of looking at the same information. I can either view it as a fader or I can view it as a line. If I click on this line with while on the grabber tool, I will add an additional point to my timeline, to my playlist volume line. If I then click and drag that point down, what I've done, this is very similar to adding keyframes in Premiere or Final Cut Pro or Avid. What I've done is I've now ramped the value. So I will start here at negative 7 dB, and it will drop over time down to negative 12.8 dB. Now if I go back to the beginning of my project, and I look at that here, as I hit play, I'm actually going to...
They've done a number of things in terms of improving efficiency
slowly
around campus.
dropping.
The things that they've done since around...
Mute it so we don't have to listen to that. But you can see that the volume is slowly dropping over time. If I move that, click on that point, and I drag it back farther, now when I hit play, it'll drop faster. And there's the fader moving down. I'm not doing that. It's just following the automation. So that's how I'm controlling my volume. You can extend this lesson also to muting, turning tracks on and off, or panning, making them fly from left to right. And then additionally, as you add more effects, you'll see that the effects parameters are also up here. So if you wanted reverb to grow over time or any of those type of things, it's basically just simple keyframe parameter values that you're just drawing in within the playlist. If you're more of a mixer and you'd like to be able to actually ride the fader, then you can actually go to your automation, and I suggest that you use touch. What that means is when you click on the fader, you'll begin to write. When you're not clicked on it, it will just read whatever is there already. So if we start this file from the beginning and we're listening to it, it's playing along. I'm going to unmute it so we can hear it.
The things that they've done since
now it's dropping down, and now I'm going to say I want more of
have
this.
saved the university over $20 million in operating expenses.
And I'm going to turn it down. And you can actually see there in the playlist, in the edit window, there's actually a red write indicator that's showing that I'm actually writing information. As soon as I let go, it will ramp back down to the value that it had before. When I click, I can bring it up.
Show them that, look,
when I let go,
by doing the right thing,
it will ramp
you
back
can
down
actually
to
do
the
the
value
running
that it
by
had
your
previously.
business, by the
That's what
students,
touch
because
does.
you're actually going to save
When I'm
money.
done, I
So
just
you
stop
can-
playback, and it's written in all the information that I had. One last thing on this. If we were to zoom into this position on the timeline, sometimes we have information that we don't want. We want to delete it. If we want to delete an individual point, I hold the Option key while using my grabber, and then a little minus will pop up over it so I know I'm about to delete something, and then I just click on the little white circle that I don't want, and I can delete them one at a time. Sometimes I don't want a whole section. I turn this whole section up too loud, for example. Then I collect my region tool. I highlight the whole section of automation information that I don't want. I just click delete, and it gets rid of it.